Each week when Supernatural's done, make sure you know what went on. Listen to Heather and Eric, get the salt notes for sure.
All right. What the fuck was that?
Hairball.
Hairball. Well, today there was some very sad news.
Are we jumping into the podcast?
We're jumping into the podcast with your hacking of their
No.
hairball.
We're stopping and resetting.
She just hacked up a hairball. We're not talking about the actual sad news in Dallas, because this podcast is definitely not about that. An actual coworkers of ours is leaving today. He's actually leaving on good terms, which is very rare at our job.
That doesn't happen.
No, he gave his 2 weeks notice, and
they didn't say, never mind, just leave.
Yeah, just leave. We don't need 2 weeks, man. Just go.
Because it's either you're fired or you say, oh, I'm here on my 2 weeks notice, and we're like, F you, get out.
Yeah. So he's
That's normally how it happens in this place.
He's leaving on good terms.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to pursue his passion, which is music.
Nice.
He was actually a salesperson. Now he's going to be focusing on music. And I was like, you know what? I want to ask Heather, what would if you were to leave this job, what's your passion, your
Who's
dream,
leaving,
your job? Shane Hunter.
Shut up. No.
Yes, and he's already gone, so you missed up the opportunity to say goodbye.
That makes me so sad. He was the only other person from Boston here.
Yeah, he was going to Hooters for lunch, and he came by my office before he left to say goodbye. And he's, like I said, he's going to be pursuing his passion, which is music. He's a singer, rapper, producer, manager of everything. So
that project that I had to do for him, I don't have to do it anymore. Right?
No, it's still the account is still with us. But so the salespeople are downstairs right now, like tearing apart his office, trying to get all his accounts right now. Like, yeah. I want that account.
Scavengers.
They're scavenging for sure. But so he's going to go pursue his passion. So I was wondering, what is your passion? What would be like your dream job?
My dream job. Probably what I'm doing now, but for somebody more famous.
And working with somebody else too, rather than me, probably. You're like, I'd want to do the same thing we're doing now with somebody else.
If I could replace you. No, of course not.
So, like, you would want to be on the radio, like a radio job.
A job in radio.
A job in radio, but on the air.
No. God, no.
But isn't that then what you're doing right now?
I do not want... No, I'm not on air.
Exactly. Like you said, you don't want to be on air.
I don't want to be on air. Okay,
so you want to do a job in radio. What you just want to basically do what you're doing now? So you're working your dream job?
More producing, less digital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But for on a different level, either for Maddie in Boston or for Ryan Seacrest, that would be nice. I've got a couple of my former interns work out in LA, and sit in. They've worked with Ryan before and worked out there. It's pretty awesome. I'm very proud of them.
Very cool. Well, you gotta wait for one of them to get fired then to get that job. Like, I really like my friends, but I hope they get fired so I could go get that job.
No, I could. You know what? Like, as much as I love Ryan Seacrest, I could never live in LA.
Why not? It's pretty much just like the same thing here in Florida.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're not
like if I'm leaving where I'm already set up and comfortable, it's going to be for a better place. I'm not going someplace just like this.
Well, I have two dream jobs.
Yes.
One, which I have been trying to find out how to do, is become a professional video game player.
Oh.
Or work in baseball and doing something in baseball.
Oh,
but
that'd be nice.
In upper management. I don't want to be like the grounds crew or something like that, or selling popcorn and hot dogs.
Wait, can I change my answer? Can I be part of an entourage? Like, because that's like a job to be like be in Taylor Swift's squad, but I'm just her like I'm her non-famous friend, the one that she grew up with, that she
And
keeps
just
around to
telling
make her seem normal.
And just
but
telling her
you just travel with her everywhere.
Yeah, and just tell her how awesome she is all the time. Oh my God, you're so beautiful.
Yeah, and just like be her BFF and like tell her and give her like the quote unquote normal people perspective.
That's a pretty sweet job.
And everybody thinks that Taylor's so down to earth because she's still BFFs with her normal friends.
But how do you make a living doing that? Like she'll give you like $1,000 to go get coffee.
She
and
just pays for
keep
everything.
The change.
She just pays for everything. I just like live in her house. She buys all my stuff.
Okay.
I want Taylor Swift to be my sugar daddy.
Do you steal like a piece of art like every once in a while and start like stashing stuff away?
Why would I need to?
Because she's not going to be famous forever, and she might get
she'll be rich forever.
I guess she'll be rich, but you'll be broke as fuck.
But I'm her BFF, and she will take care of me.
Like forever.
Yeah, like.
Oh, okay. That's a good job.
I'm part of her entourage. I want to be Taylor Swift's entourage.
No, I really think this relationship's going to work out for you, Taylor. This is the one. I have a really good feeling about this one.
God, my favorite thing in the world is Ryan Reynolds' reaction to Hiddle Swift.
All right, enough rambling on about nonsense.
Cool.
Well, I just wanted to ask you that question because it was very sad today. Anyway, so this episode of Supernatural is Season 1, Episode 7's Hookman.
Yes, it originally aired in October of 2005, directed by David Jackson, written by Jean Savan.
And actually, before the episode started, it kind of gave you one of those, this is where we're at, this is how we've gotten here type of previews.
There was a lot of that in Season 1. You don't get to see it anymore because they assume people watching Season 11 have been watching.
Could you imagine the preview length of like, okay, since Season 1, this is where we've been. Like, oh, God.
I would love to, I'm sure there's a fan vid.
But of all 11
everything.
Seasons? That's pretty dope.
If not, we should make one.
Like, oh my God, could you imagine the amount of work on that
Nope.
thing? I'm not going to do that shit.
Look, that's why I joined a squad, so I don't have to work. Swifty's hiring people to do that for me.
But one of the things that I saw there was John Winchester. Now, do you think now, after all these seasons, and even now that, what's the guy's name again that played John Winchester?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Now that he's even on The Walking Dead.
Yes. Negan.
Could they even get him back? Number one, could they afford him? And you think he'd even be willing to come back on the show? Because, spoiler again, if you're not having caught up, but
yeah, sorry,
we
are rewatching Season 1, but it is a rewatch. We have seen up to the end of Season 11 so far, and we will make mention of all of that.
So, do you think he would even come back in the show, even though that Mary has come back in the show, the character Mary Deans, and Sam's mother came back from the show, get back from the dead? Mm-hmm. Could they ever get him back?
I mean, not this coming season because he's busy with The Walking Dead, but I apologize. That's awkward. Put that on silent. I think, you could get him back for if he's, available. I don't see why not.
I guess, but he is now a legit celebrity. You think he's an A-list celebrity? Do you think? I
don't think. Well, then you get into defining what's A-list and B-list.
Do you think Sam and Dean are A-list celebrities? I don't think so.
Jared and Jensen?
I think they're B.
They are not A-list celebrities. I mean, in my heart, they are.
They are. I mean, because they've been in movies.
But
they've both been in movies. They're both successful TV actors. Are they in?
But look,
an everyday spotlight? No.
You just say the name to most people.
They would have no idea.
They have no clue who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that goes for every actor on Supernatural.
Right now, yes. But there's a lot of actors who've actually. There's been actors from the show that have now made it on The Walking Dead. Two of them that I know of.
Yeah.
The lady who plays Maggie on The Walking Dead was actually on a couple episodes of The Walking Dead. I mean, of Supernatural. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Well,
I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he got a lot of play on Grey's Anatomy, too.
Yeah, so he is, I think
I don't know that he's A-list.
After being on The Walking Dead, he's totally A-list.
Yeah, okay. I will give you that. Walking Dead, he's been there for like 5 seconds, but...
He's going to be huge. He's going to be a huge character on there, and and he has the chops, the acting chops, the background. He's just not just appearing on the show now.
The way you're defining that, because see, Norman Reedus, for example, I don't know... I'd maybe put him at A-list. I don't know if I would put anybody else at A-list status, because I'm thinking A-list, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Julia Roberts.
I think he's going to be A-list until the show or his character goes away on The Walking Dead. He's going to be a temporary A-list.
I consider, like, popular actors, like on huge popular TV shows, I still consider them a little B-list.
Yeah, okay. Maybe
I mean,
A- list?
I think your Matt Damons.
Yeah, those are huge.
Your Robert Downey Jr.'s. Those are your A-list celebrities.
Okay.
And no matter how popular The Walking Dead is, and it is the most popular thing in the world, I just don't think it compares to 100 million box office hits.
Because it would be great at, this, again, could be a theory or whatever, that they got the mom back.
Mm-hmm.
Could they get the dad back and live as a family? Because their whole thing was that they
you think it's going to be happily ever after?
That'd be great if they ended up like maybe even hunting together. They all become hunters.
No.
And they get back what they lost in the beginning of the show.
Oh, well, we're going to bring Jess back?
Oh, yeah. Ugh, I forgot about her.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah, oh, man.
We going to bring Kevin back?
No, he's good. We don't need to bring him back.
What about Dead Brother in a Cage? We going to bring him back?
No, we just forget about him.
They have, don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I'm just saying, no.
After I watched that preview, I was like, you know what? Could they bring him back?
But, I mean, we have plenty of time because, Kripke was just saying how Supernatural can easily go past season 12 as long as Jared and Jensen are into it. He doesn't see the show stopping anytime soon.
I mean, why would you? If you're getting ratings and the show is doing well, the only reason you would not continue would be that the actors want to pursue something else.
Or the showrunners are like, yeah, we're at the end of the story. We've run out of stuff.
No, you hire writers. I mean, if they don't want to write anything else, you hire new writers.
The network could decide they didn't want to move on. But I think what Kripke is saying is that the CW seems to be fully invested for as long as...
Yeah, I mean, shit, at the end of the day, the only reason shows exist is to get advertisers on there. Mm-hmm. So if they're getting the ratings and they're successful on in those terms, why not continue? And they're offering these guys probably a shit ton of money to keep on going.
I think CW's version of shit ton of money versus other networks' version of shit ton of money is a lot different.
I would love to see. I mean, definitely, I think, who's making more money?
Well, Jared is still number one on the call sheets from the very beginning because they never changed that, even though they're both essentially lead,
right?
Number ones. But when the show was first designed, Jared was.
They have to be getting the same amount of money because they would, not that they're, ever fighting each other or arguing. They seem to be really good friends, but that would kind of make one feel less important than the other. And I think they should be getting paid pretty much the same amount of money.
Well, I mean, Jensen was a little bit more well-known when it started, but Jared was supposed to be, was number one on the call sheet. But looking up net worth, you've got Jared at $5 million with an estimation of $125,000 per episode. This is coming from CelebrityNetWorth.com.
Mm-hmm.
And Jensen at $10 million with $175,000 per episode.
So where's that additional $5 million come from? His previous work, maybe?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, he was, a little more well-known.
And he was in Bloody Valentine.
And, well, how many episodes have they done now? 265.
Well, they weren't always making $125,000 an episode.
Right, but assume that the differences. So a difference of $50,000 between each episode on their paychecks, that could make up $5 million.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm doing math. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Okay, yeah. See, they definitely weren't making that much, but if you assumed a $50,000 deficit per episode, then Jensen would have $13.25 million more than Jared.
So, I mean, yeah.
So clearly, he's always been making more.
Interesting, but yeah, well.
I like how we did that. Thank you, Celebrity Net Worth.
I think they will be continuing. I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, they've been doing it for such a long time. There's a lot of actors that have done that in the past, so they're just tired of the character.
I don't think what other shows run this long without, switching out actors? Honestly.
And then what shows or actors besides maybe Friends that have the actors gone off to do actual movie roles? And
but Friends has a curse. Friends, nobody ever really has been very successful.
Well, what's the main chick, the one that
Jennifer Aniston,
which has really never been in a successful movie ever.
No, she keeps. Well, Horrible Bosses did pretty well.
Well, she wasn't really a main actress in that. movie.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
she wasn't a lead in the movie.
But she's never had like a huge smash hit, which is
I
sad.
think if you actually
she's
wanted
kept
to
trying a lot.
If you want to lose money in a movie, you hire her as a lead actress.
And poor Matthew Perry keeps having 37 shows canceled on him, and he has to keep going back into rehab every time a show gets canceled.
He has a little drug issue, a little drug problem.
I mean, he hasn't relapsed during all these shows. He just goes back because he knows he's going to relapse when they're like, oh, another show's canceled. He's like, I'm just going to preemptively get in there.
Yeah. So, like, really, what TV actor has then eventually gone off? Ray Romano, he did it. Mm-hmm. He's been very successful.
Doing a lot of animated stuff.
What about the King of Queens guy? Forget his name. Kevin James.
Paul Blart.
He did it.
Isn't he? He's got a new show now.
Jerry Seinfeld kind of tried, but failed.
Yeah.
Because he definitely didn't get into...
Do you only watch sitcoms?
Well, I'm trying to think of, I mean, were those like successfully, hugely successful shows? Like Supernatural is really successful in its own right, even if it's not like a prime time, Sunday night type show. But
all right,
it is
I'm telling you, like 25% of the world knows that Supernatural exists.
Really?
Not even 25%.
You're the only person in my entire life that I've met that likes Supernatural.
Okay, so we're looking at like 5% of the world knows Supernatural exists.
Which is still huge. If 5% of the entire world knows Supernatural.
Right. Well, I'm saying I don't think it's as popular as you think it is.
Supernatural?
Yeah.
I think it really is. I mean, and then not only that, they're popular around the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows that are, from the U.S. that don't get popular around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, people like on YouTube, when I see the views, like 95% of the people that are watching are not from the United States. They're from other countries,
Yeah.
South America, Canada, Alaska. I mean, shit, next time.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I caught myself on that one. But
they're not from the United States. They're from Alaska.
So, yes, next time I'm actually going to write down all the people that are just watching our podcast of Supernatural from other countries.
Okay.
Anyways.
Anyway, are we going to talk about this episode?
Shit,
what are we still talking
I was
about?
actually hoping that this episode was going to get short so I could go eat lunch, but this is going to run long.
That's why I ate lunch earlier.
They had a big breakfast. I was like, you know what? I'm having a big breakfast because we kind of always do this like around 1 o'clock-ish. And I was like, oh, I'm going to start getting peckish. The Hookman legend. So the first thing off with this episode, the guy hears something fucking scratching outside of his car, and he decides to get out of the car. What the fuck is going to be making that noise outside in the woods?
Yeah, well, you know what? The thing that I
and what are you going to do
was
about it?
When he's off being killed, she's actually in the car, and then she like freaks out, locks all the doors, rolls up the windows, like does the smart thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've ever seen in like a horror movie situation where somebody's doing the smart thing. And of course she then
runs out.
Gets out, and I'm like, you would have been... Ugh.
Yeah, the first time if I'm in the middle of the woods, I hear a screeching, I'm like, you know what? Let's get the fuck out of here. And if she's not putting out, then what's the point of even being there? Because she's like, she starts to get hot and heavy, and she's like, no, you know what? It's not the right time. I'm like, all right, then what are we doing here? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So he gets out of the car. I'm like, why would you ever get out of the car? But it's that typical, like, if they ever do the smart thing on a show, the show doesn't go any further, Yeah, he's not going to get killed. She's not going to get all creeped out. But now, for me, this episode, were you scared this episode? I didn't feel like I was I love Supernatural, and all of season 1 so far has been pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. This one fell flat for me. Were you scared at all, or
no? But I think I tend to not get as quote unquote scared by the episodes as you do. But no, it wasn't completely frightening. Because it was supposed to, the Hookman's invisible, but then he was visible, but then he wasn't, and then, I don't know.
Yeah, the anxiety, let's maybe not say scared, but the anxiety level
I was more scared on the commentary of slut-shaming there.
On slut-shaming from the dad?
From the Hookman.
Oh.
The Hookman doesn't like it when you sleep around.
Well, it's not sleeping around, it's just kind of...
Anything immoral. Bitch, don't judge me.
Yeah, and we're not going to go step by step through the episode, kind of be jumping around, but the fact is that the girl ends up, the people who she felt that needed to be punished because this guy was, I guess, pushing on her too aggressively, that's why he ended up getting him killed, was because she felt like he was being just too aggressive and he needed to be punished for his...
Yeah. Can I tell you, like, though, the first time around when I watched this, I remembered thinking... when at the end, and I'm jumping all the way back to the end again, but at the end when she's kissing Sam, mm-hmm. I was like, oh, he's going to die now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I remember thinking that. I'm like, oh, he's going to get it.
She has like the Black Widow curse thing
yeah.
that she kisses
like
guys.
She kisses guys and then is all like offended by them kissing
Yeah.
her, and it's like, you must die.
You use tongue? Oh my god, you're gonna fucking die.
Exactly.
What's up with that French stuff?
I like the roommate, though. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, the roommate got offed off because she was trying to, like, I guess, make her seem sluttier or trying to get her to slut it up.
Now, Lori, the girl in the episode, had no problem with her roommate, actually seemed to like her roommate and get along with her very well, until her dad said something about how she was a bad influence.
Well, I mean, the kid, maybe wouldn't have not come on to her as much if she wasn't wearing a provocative outfit, so maybe she blames her for making her wear that outfit.
And she also said as she was leaving for her date, don't do anything I wouldn't do. There isn't anything you wouldn't do. I know. Like that whole...
My kind of girl. She's the one that guy should have been taken out on the date in the first place. But, so, again, this is, again, a Monster of the Week type episode because you get that little 1 minute clip of them still looking for their dad. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, we searched on him and we looked up on, which I find so weird. I mean, how easily they can do a license plate search, a John Doe missing.
Yeah.
I think they did it all over a payphone as well. Like they had no computers. Like, yeah. I just got off this payphone and I did everything. I looked up license plates, missing persons, no sign of dad. And what do you say? You're like, I'm looking for John Winchester. I mean, how many fucking hospitals are you calling?
And also, like, if you're on the run or hiding, like, do they not change their license plates ever? Like, I feel like that's something that they know how to do, that skill that they have.
Well, I mean, did John...
And license plate, what car is he driving? Weren't he and Dean
that's what I'm thinking because
before? I forget. He has a truck, doesn't he?
Because
I'm trying to remember when he finally shows up.
The car is actually John's car.
Yeah.
And Dean is driving that car, so I guess he's maybe driving a stolen car. I mean, what license plate is he trying to?
Yeah,
I don't know. But it was a very quick job done on the payphone. For me at least, the episode fell flat because I didn't have that anxiety that I had in previous episodes. This one could have kind of gone to the wayside. We get introduced to salt buckshots, which becomes later on a very important thing. It's like their go-to weapon when fighting ghosts. That was pretty cool, and he's never seen them before. And the fact is that it's one of those things where if they don't introduce that, I mean, they had one of those. They had that, and then in the trunk they had a bunch of stuff that I saw. I was trying to remember exactly. So they had crosses, they had the buckshots. Of course, the dad is now gone, but they felt that the dad is almost like a genius coming up with these ingenious ideas.
Yeah.
Did you think the buckshots was an ingenious idea?
I don't know, because I feel like I've always known that existed. So to me, it doesn't seem ingenious. It just seems, well, of course.
But couldn't you, if salt hurts the thing, couldn't you just, grab salt in your hand and throw it at a ghost? Yeah, that would work fine, too.
Yes.
So why have to, put it into a gun?
Because throwing salt at a normal person wouldn't hurt them, but shooting them with a salt bullet would still hurt them because of the stuff coming from the gun,
so
right?
It could be used for, both. If you ran into a person.
Buckshot, but salt version is what I always assume.
Little pieces of, rock salt, like bigger chunks?
It is rock salt, yeah.
Or they're not just grabbing, salt from,
it's not like
dinner table. They're just,
they didn't steal the salt from Denny's.
Throw in your eyes and blind them.
I don't know exactly.
The girl is basically attached to this Hookman character, which I don't remember exactly the story of the guy, but he was a preacher of some sort, or was
yeah, he was a preacher in the 1800s who got very there was a red light district in town, hookers, prostitutes, whatever, and he got super offended by it, went and killed 13 prostitutes. Some
with
of them
with a hook.
Well, he had somehow, unrelated to all of this, he had lost his hand, and 1800s, you don't get a nice prosthetic, you get a hook.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yes, the preacher, unrelated to the rest of the story, did have a hook for a hand, but he used his hook to kill 13 whores, and left some of them in his bed, and some of them outside hanging upside down from a tree.
Yeah, some crazy shit.
As a warning to others for having some fun.
So now,
getting their groove on.
Off the show topic again, if you lose an eye, do you get a replacement eye or do you get a pirate patch?
Oh,
do you go with the weird eye that everybody knows is a fake eye?
You know what? There are a lot of eye prosthetics that are not that noticeable anymore.
Do you go with a prosthetic that doesn't look like a real eye, and you go with like the 8-ball eye, the fake?
Why would I do that?
Because it's cool. I would do that
in this cruel world.
Yes, because then everybody like that's what your opportunity.
Oh my God! Were you never bullied as a child?
Yes, I was, and I told you stories of girls like hating on me and then me getting them back later on in life. But this is the opportunity to be like that get your name. So they call you 8-ball from then on. Like you're the person that has. I
don't want to be called 8-ball.
Or you go with.
I don't want to be called anything.
You go with the all black prosthetic eye, and you go the whole demon route. You know, like that. Oh, that's that girl with the fucking black. Stay away from her. She's evil or something.
No.
You don't go. Or you go with like the bedazzled pirate patch.
No, do I look like Nick Fury?
No, but that's the opportunity to go with something cool and make your mark.
You can make your mark however you want. I go with the most realistic prosthetic I could ever possibly imagine.
Oh my God, because then you really can't tell if like, it goes wonky and like drifts to the side, and everybody's like, oh God, there goes his eye. Or there goes her eye again, don't say anything.
Say something. My prosthetic should not be going wonky.
Okay, you lose an arm.
Okay.
From from the wrist. You have no hand.
I just lose my hand?
Do you go with like the fake wooden hand? Do you go with like
There's
a realistic
in
rubber?
In today's day and age, there is no such thing as a fake wooden hand.
Okay, but you can maybe like...
You get an actual prosthetic. Have you not seen...
But do you go with like straight up robotic? Do you make it look realistic? Do you go with like the hook or a weapon of some sort?
I don't think they let you do that anymore.
No, why would they? Of course they would. That's your shit. You could do whatever you want to do with your hand.
Well, I feel like my insurance would be covering a lot of this.
Explain it to the insurance company. So I was thinking of having a
look.
A
I will have whatever Tony Stark can make.
Yeah, for sure.
The best of whatever.
Whatever stuff I could get printed from a 3D printer that looked fucking awesome.
No, I would want everything to be as realistic as possible.
I thought the hook was dope. If I had, especially back in the day when your options were limited, a hook or a weapon of some sort of like practical thing would be
how back in the day how it was put on him. Was it like a cuff that slid over the stump and you could just take it off and put it back on whenever, or was it like sewn into and became part of his arm? No, I feel like it would be a solid piece at the end, which was maybe even wrapped in leather and then attached to you with like leather straps or braces that really like was on there good. Because there's no reason if you're a preacher why you need a hook. If you were a farmer and maybe you needed to like lift hay or something, maybe a hook of some sort was an appropriate thing to have, because then you could like. Good point. Why did the preacher have a hook?
Because he's fucking gangster preacher. That's what I would have, and it was made of silver, and that was even cooler. It was just made of, a rare element, anyways, a rare metal.
Oh,
so.
Lord.
So now I couldn't remember exactly what the story was of the hook man. So he dies, and then now people who feel some sort of
he's executed because they caught him for murder.
Yeah, I mean, like he went a little bit
overboard. He didn't just like die of old age. Bitch was executed.
Yeah, he didn't slap anybody on the hand. He's like, don't do that again. He just fucking...
Well, he might have, but that would hurt with the fucking hook.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh well, I guess they started that trend.
Nick an artery.
So he dies now. He is, I guess, helping other people who feel people should be punished.
The hook is melted down. We find out the hook is melted down, becomes a piece of jewelry, and gets attached to the emotions of whoever is wearing it. And whenever they feel like somebody needs to be punished for something, the hook man cometh and do the punishing.
And I really don't see the purpose of the whole invisible thing either. Maybe because he was a spirit.
Sneak up on people? Oh.
I don't know, but I thought the fact that when he wasn't invisible was, well, actually the invisible like part was scary too, kind of where he's like just dragging it along the walls. Yeah, where he dragged
her across the floor at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, the girl ends up getting her boyfriend or her friend killed, her roommate killed, almost her father killed, and then her father against a preacher who is like, I guess, having an affair with another chick too.
Yeah, the judgy preacher dad is banging a married woman who comes to his church with her family.
Well, typically people who are like, very judgy on something that you're doing are really typically up to something else themselves. They're just kind of like,
I mean, hey, I'm not judgy, but I'm always up to something. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
Nah, well, I would love to know what you're judging people about. I mean, what are you judging people about?
I'm not. I don't judge people.
Okay, because you're up to no good?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, I have no right to judge anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you. So they deal with it. They burned the body, but the body was not. And then it's funny because they said the body was put in an unmarked grave, but then his grave had a mark on it. Like, I guess it had a no-name grave. It just it had that symbol. I guess it was like the church symbol or something.
Maybe, I guess.
They never explained what that symbol was. It was a symbol, but it had like a cross.
Symbol
and then 4
that
small
matched
crosses.
the research that they randomly found because apparently their libraries always have the old records that they want. Like, I've been to our libraries. They don't have
Hookman legend books.
They don't have the church records from 1862 where it says conveniently that the thing that you're looking for was reforged. Like,
they have awesome luck.
I've tried to do that kind of research before. Like, I've tried to do movie level research into things before. It does not work out like that.
Yeah, no, there's no books. I mean, if you want a copy of the latest Curious George, they're definitely going to have it, but not of the Hookman legend books. And yeah, no, and I've actually tried finding like.
Look, I can't find fucking Sweet Valley High books to complete my collection. Okay, it is not easy.
Oh my god, even eBay doesn't have them.
It's very hard to get a complete collection.
So they end up killing the monster. To me, it just was a boring episode. They didn't really develop Sam and Dean that much, other than maybe like the buckshot, the salted buckshot. But
right, that's as far as the hunting lore goes. But I mean, we developed Sam a little, showing that he's still thinking about Jess. In that was his first thing, and I thought Dean looked a little surprised when Sam immediately brought up, "I lost somebody. I watched somebody get hurt," and then kissing. The girl kissing Lori. This was his first time kissing anybody since Jess's death, and he stopped it and didn't want to continue. He still wasn't ready.
I was disappointed because, number one, as he was started to kiss her, I was like, playa, get in on it, but then at the same time, like what you were saying before, I was like, oh, but now he's fucking gonna die because this girl's gonna give him like the curse of like. Yeah. But no, he pulled back, and I was like, "Oh no, dude, go for it!" She's like the preacher's daughter; she's totally gonna get it.
Yeah, and he'd kind of been flirting with her the whole time. But yeah, so I mean, you got that little bit.
And how long does that last?
It's not really
do you
development, but it's still
because that lasts for a long time. Like how long do you? Granted, he was in love with her and all that stuff. How long do you go? Like, what's like the time frame that you kind of like? Okay, I have to get over this girl. I have to start dating around a year. Is that the time frame?
I don't know, because I think it's completely different for them than it would be for, say, if I were in a serious relationship and they died, because I'm sitting in one place. She didn't die
a normal way either.
Right, but I think sitting in one place and finding somebody new, like developing feelings for somebody new, is easier when you're sitting in one place and you're seeing the same people all the time.
And he's apparently seeing her ghost around too.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Having dreams every single night. So it'd be hard to get over a chick when you're dreaming about her horrible death every night.
Who's he getting over it with? Like, he only hangs out with his brother.
Yeah.
He comes in, saves somebody, and leaves town.
And then every time, Dean makes a comment, he's like, oh, Dean's like the hornball going out there.
I mean, I think it takes longer to get over something. Like, I think something semi-serious would be easier to do than one-night stands.
I guess as
I don't know.
We're watching, we could see kind of where
anybody that died.
Well, we have to kind of see where he. I mean, a breakup.
I forget completely where it is that he finally gets over it or like moves on.
We're gonna find out.
I forget.
Find out where he actually moves on, but I mean, I really didn't take many notes of this episode. Really, it was. Just
I didn't take
like,
any, but that's just because I don't take notes.
I always take notes to try to follow some sort of guideline or something, but we never stick to it.
Well, because I come in here and I just throw it off.
Well, I kind of like. I mean, people could actually make. I would love if people actually made recommendations, because we've done in the past where these podcasts we kind of follow the episode, which is not really we don't want to take you through the episode step by step because you've already watched it if you've rewatched it with us. But at the same time, it kind of gets boring almost. But I kind of like when we kind of hit on the topics.
It gets boring to me to like be the audio track, the audio for the vision impaired. For us to be the audio track to the episode, telling you step by step what happens.
Yeah, because as I watch it, I just try to write down the things that kind of like catch my attention. Because like we're rewatching it, we've already watched these episodes. The things that kind of like just kind of hit me and like, you know what? Oh, that kind of was interesting. Or I remember that like the salt bucks. Like the shotgun shells with full of salt. That kind of like that's the first time they actually mentioned that, and they used that throughout the entire series of Supernatural. So I would love to hear if anybody would leave us a comment and kind of say, I like this style more to kind of help us go along with these future episodes. But
I feel like this episode style is talking about everything but the episode, though.
Yeah.
I feel like we've
Well, no,
covered
I
a lot
think-
more other stuff
Well,
than
no,
the
like,
episode this
but
time.
part of this,
But I'm cool with that.
the last thing I wrote down was the fact that where he was kind of like, she was there at the end of the episode, and Dean kind of asked Sam, we could stay a while longer or stay here if you want to. And Dean's like, Sam's like, no, he doesn't really even say anything. He just like stays quiet. Number one, would you even stay with a girl that had that much baggage afterwards? like, I would not stay with a girl. That's like way too much starter baggage in a relationship.
Exactly. It's the crazy hot scale.
Yeah,
Goes with
exactly.
the baggage hot scale. Same thing, same principle, I think.
She's totally not hot enough to be
And
with
yeah, I
that,
don't think
no.
she's hot enough to outweigh that crazy baggage.
Yeah, she got her boyfriend killed, her best friend killed. She's going to deal with like...
Her dad almost killed.
Yeah. She has to deal with the murder of her friends.
And it was all her fault.
A revengeful ghost. No, it's way too much to deal with. Like, no, let's continue to move on.
Yeah.
But they move on from the episode, again, trying to find their dad who's lost.
Well, I don't know that they're really trying to find... I think Sam's still trying to find him. Dean's not. Dean's like, I don't think he wants to be found, Sam.
Sam wants to find the dad for the dad to help him find the demon.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the thing that killed their mom, which is the exact same thing that killed
Jess.
Would kill Jess. Next episode is episode 8, Bugs. I think I remember this one. I think this is the one where
I remember
the bugs
this one.
infest like a new house development, a new housing development of some sort. And I think they're like in the people.
Yeah, it's a really shitty episode.
Was it a shitty episode?
I remember it not being a great episode.
Well, I fucking get creeped out by bugs, so that's probably why I'm gonna love it, because it's gonna be one of those things I could kind of like relate to and like, oh, that's a creepy, disgusting episode. Okay, well, let's say our goodbye. So number 1 is please like us, subscribe us, yada yada yada. WinchesterFamilyBusiness.com. They got cool stuff on there, and they retweet us. They're like our best friends ever. We got some love from Supernatural Crossroads.
Oh, SPN Crossroads, yeah.
So shout out to them over there.
What up?
And that's pretty much it. Next week, are we doing 1 episode, 2 episodes, or are we sticking to just 1 next week?
You tell me.
I don't know. I don't plan on being out.
All right.
Are you on vacation next week at all?
I am not, but we are doing a bit of construction, so I don't know what our studio availability will be.
Oh.
Like right now we're in the middle of serious construction, and everything around us, our studio is like filled with all the stuff from 2 other studios that are being torn down right now. So
all right. Well,
I don't know what our availability will be.
Well, if anything, we'll do 2 after that, but there might be some, we might be out of commission for next week.
We're going to have an episode Thursday and maybe a bonus episode on Tuesday, maybe not.
All right, well, I got to go.
It'll be a surprise.
I'm starving.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.